How's it going, everyone? RaMTEID here, and for today I have a quick guide for you guys when it comes to Overwatch's Soldier 76. He's an offensive character, which means that he has the ability to agitate the enemy team with a combination of his mobility and his ability to put out damage as well. Now, Soldier's ability to sprint really makes him one of the most mobile characters within the game. So I use Soldier's ability to sprint in order to avoid danger, get away from enemy ultimates, and get on the objective sooner. Now, another thing that people may not think about using it as is for flanking, because he is a mobile character, he can put up damage, this is what he can be good at. So if your team is struggling to push up, then try to find a flank route and get in a position where you can do a lot of damage to the enemy team, because what this will do is put them in a position where they're going to have to focus on you, which is focusing away from the majority of your teammates, allowing them the ability to push up. With that being said, here's what we'll be going over in this video. It'll be his primary weapon, which is his heavy pulse rifle, his secondary fire, which is the Helix rockets, his sprint, which we just talked about, his biotic field, which is his ability to heal, and his ultimate, which is the tactical visor. But first, I just want to mention his health. He does only have 200 health. He's not one of the tanks, so he doesn't have a whole lot of health, but he makes up for that with his ability to put up damage and be mobile at the same time. So that's something to be aware of, because if you run into certain characters, they can take him out fairly easily. So first up is Soldier's pulse rifle. As you can see, it has 25 rounds, it does 17 damage per round with a 1-second reload time. Now this means you have a possible 425 points of damage that you're capable of doing with his pulse rifle, with that being doubled to 850 if you're landing all headshots. So really practicing on aiming and getting headshots can make a huge difference in the long run for you. Now, I did say max damage, which means that this weapon does have damage drop off, but that minimum is 5, so just be aware of that. When you're at a certain distance, the damage will drop down and do 5 damage per round, which will be 10 damage per headshot. Next up is Soldier's secondary fire, which are the Helix rockets. Now, as you can see, they do 120 max damage for 80 splash damage as well, and the splash damage is a 2-meter radius. At the same time, this is an 8-second cooldown, so you can use it every 8 seconds. It's something that can really be used in combination with his primary fire to put up a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Since I already talked about sprint, and that's for the most part self-explanatory, let's go into the biotic field here. Now, if you go to options and you go in here to Soldier 76, besides changing the crosshair here, what I showed you guys last video as well is the hero section. Now, under this section, you can see allied health bars. Now, by default, it's turned off. You can go in here and turn it on. Now, what this does is show the health bars of all your teammates, which really comes in handy with the biotic field, because what it's doing is regenerating health for you and your teammates. So this way, you can see which teammates need health. So if you need health and or your teammates need health, you can really get near that teammate and heal you both at the same time. As you can see, the biotic field has a 5-second duration and a 5-meter radius. So you or your teammates, if you're within that 5-meter radius, you're being healed 35 health points per second. And then after it's done, there's a 15-second cooldown period. So you can utilize this in a lot of ways. It can help you get back into the action sooner. It can help you get your teammates into the action sooner. So that's where the allied health bars come in handy. You can really see who needs health and when, and really help them out and get them that health. Last up is his ultimate, which is the tactical visor. Now, as you can see here, it has a 6-second duration and it reloads upon activation. What that means is that if you're at 10 rounds and you activate your ultimate, it automatically boosts you up to 25 rounds. So that's something that's you should be aware of, because if you're in a tough situation, you don't have to reload if you're about to use your ultimate. You can just hit it, you don't have to worry about that. Now, if you have to reload during the ultimate, the time is cut down from 1 second to half a second, so that's something to be aware of as well. Now, for the biggest thing when it comes to his ultimate is that it automatically aims for you. You just have to aim near the person and it will still hit them. Now, what this means is that you can put up a lot of damage. Like I said earlier, it gets you 425 damage per 25 shots, basically. So you can take out a lot of people with this over the 6 seconds that this ultimate is up. Now, one thing to note about this is that you cannot get headshots with your ultimate, which is nice. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, otherwise it'd be pretty overpowered. But when you use your ultimate, one thing to be aware of is who's on the other team and who you can get. Use it when you can get at least 2 or 3 people and damage them heavily, and pay attention to who's around as well, because you want to focus on the squishier players with lower health than the tanks. Now, what this does when you focus on the lower health enemies is that it can give your team a major advantage. Say the enemy team has 2 tanks and 4 offensive heroes that are low on health. Well, you can focus on those 4 heroes and potentially take them out or lower them down by a lot. Now, say you take them out, that leaves a 6-2 advantage for your team, and that can be really helpful and puts up a lot of damage. Now, sometimes when I use my ultimate, I'll pay attention. If they have tanks, I'll try to damage their tank, and then I will use my ultimate so I can take the tank out as well. That's really helpful. It's something to be aware of. Pay attention to the enemy's health, and if they have a hero like Reinhardt, try to damage his shield to where his shield is gone before you use it. Otherwise, he'll be able to block all of your rounds. Now, one last thing I really want to go over when it comes to Soldier is knowing who he's good against and who he's not so good against. Now, according to Overbuff, Soldier is the best against Pharahs, Mercies, and Torbjorns. Now, when I'm playing as Soldier, I really try to pay attention to who's on the other team. If they have a Pharah, I'm really trying to stay alert to her whereabouts, and when she goes in the air, I try to put up as much damage at her as possible to try to get her away from having an advantage on my team. Now, this is something important to note as well, because if she gets in the air, she may be trying to use her ultimate, so try to get as much damage on her as possible before she gets her ultimate off, and then even once she gets her ultimate off, keep going, because she doesn't have a whole lot of health. Soldier can put up a lot of damage, and he can really take her out before she can inflict a lot of damage upon your team. When it comes to Mercies and Torbjorns, you can really sit back medium range and take them out. Torbjorn, you really want to take out his turret, and then he's kind of defenseless, and you can really take him out. He's basically a sitting duck at that point. He usually is anyways if he's just repairing his turret. So be aware of that. And when it comes to Mercy, she's constantly healing her teammates, which makes it difficult to take that enemy out. So focus on her, take her out, and then it helps your team, because now they don't have to worry about trying to take out an enemy who is being healed. So it makes it just a little bit easier on you and your teammates. So those are the ones that Soldier's good against and that you really need to be aware of when they're on the other team and focus your attention to. As for the enemies that he's the weakest against, it's Roadhogs, Maze, and Lucios. Now, it's Lucios because he can really give the speed boost to his teammates, which allows them to keep up with you easier. It's harder for you to get away from them. When it comes to Maze, if you get close enough to her, she can freeze you and take you out pretty easily. Roadhog can hook you from a good distance, pull you in, and it's almost a guaranteed kill for him every time. So just be aware of who's on the enemy team, because it can really set you up for how you can be the most effective during that match with this particular character. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to take a look into that and answer everything I can. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and RaMTEID out.